Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we shall be looking at what type of investors we are. Now this is very important before you start investing to understand what type of an investor are you. Okay, how do you get to understand who you are and what type of an investor you are? There are so many quizzes on YouTube. If you were to Google right now, that will help you understand what type of an investor you are, and this can give you a general guidance on what instruments you should be engaging in for investment. Now for this session, I'll be looking at three broad types of investments and investors. All right, and I want you to just listen in and think through, where do you think you fall in? Okay, identify what type of an investor you are. Kindly leave me a comment below and subscribe to my channel. All right, so broadly, investors are divided into two. We have what we call the aggressive and we'll have what we call the conservative. However, for the sake of your knowledge, I'm going to add a third type of investor just for your understanding. So I will begin with one which we call the pre-investor. Okay, who is a pre-investor? A pre-investor is a person who has not started actively investing. Okay, they are not really involved in investment. They believe one day they will, but they have not taken that decision yet. Okay, and this is where most of us began. Unless, of course, you inherited a portfolio, most of us began from this place of pre-investment where we knew we would one day invest, but we made the decision. I, however, have a disclaimer here. Please do not take too long in this space, especially if you are mature and have been working for a long time. You should not be in this stage of pre-investment. You need to make that decision. And I always tell people the difference, the gap between the pre-investor and the investor is just that one decision. Make the decision. All right, so we move on to the other type of an investor. We are looking at what we call the conservative investor. Okay, so who is a conservative investor? I know you can go and research on this. I want you to read more to understand what type of an investor this one is, but I'll just give you highlights. This is a person who is always concerned about the preservation of the capital. All right, so anytime they think about investment, when they go see their financial advisor, the first question they always seem to ask is, will I lose my capital? If there is any chance of them losing the capital, then they are not going to go for that. All right, so if you're that kind of a person who is a bit reserved and you want to ensure by the end of the journey that your capital is safe, you may be falling into this category known as the conservative investor. Now these are the investors who are willing to go long term, all right, so long as they get a little gains on their capital, but the key importance to them is the preservation of the capital. All right, then we have what we know as the aggressive investor. All right, this is a person who is driven by return on investment. So when they come to see me as a financial advisor and I'm mentioning some of the instruments that are available for them, the first question they ask me, what is the return on investment? Am I making 5, 10, 15, 18, 20, whatever number of return on investment? That is what they are looking at, and the higher the return on investment, the more excited they get. Okay, these are the people we also refer to as people driven by adrenaline. So they do not worry so much about the preservation of the capital. They do understand that the higher the risk, the higher the return, but they are willing to put money into this for the sake of that return by the end of the term. All right, so it is important you understand what type of an investor you are, otherwise the journey of investment is going to be very frustrating for you. Why do I say so? Now imagine if you're a conservative investor and you did not know, and for whatever reason your investor or the person, your agent or broker, did not understand this. So they took your capital, looked for a very risky instrument and put in your money there. So anytime you see you receive your report, it is not stable. It is moving up, it's moving down, it's moving up. Reports on the news seems to affect it. You're going to have a very hard time, okay? Because your fear of losing capital is so real. All right? So on the reverse, it's also true. Imagine if you are this type of an aggressive investor, but you did not understand, and an instrument that is conservative in nature was chosen for you. So you'll be looking at your reports, maybe your monthly reports, and wondering what is going on here. Why is my money not growing? Why are we crawling? And I thought we would be sprinting, and it will be very frustrating for you. And because of this, so many people have said investments don't work. Okay, yes, we like saying it doesn't work, it is not for me. It might not actually be true. The reason might be you did not understand what type of an investor you were before you got involved in investing. All right, so just a recap. A conservative investor is one who is really keen on preserving their capital, while an aggressive investor is the one who is looking to make higher returns on investment. That is what drives them. They are driven by the movement of numbers. They want to get from the single digit to the double digit all the way. All right, now as I come to the end of this video, I would like to bring this point up for you, that you do not stay at one level always. Okay, I know some people who, when they were young, maybe 20 or below 30, they were this aggressive investors. They were looking for return on investment. They were willing to put in and risk the whatever amount of money they risk, so long as the return is good enough. However, as they grow older and there are these responsibilities that come maybe with maturity and with age, you have a family, you're thinking of expanding or increasing your education or all those things, they become a bit conservative. But there is no rule that says that the older people are conservative and the younger people are aggressive. I've seen people transversing this. Somebody who is very young, but they're very conservative. They want to build a certain amount maybe in 20, 30 years. And I've seen some people who are a bit mature, who are willing to put in the money and can handle the risk, all right? So you need to understand what type of an investor are you before you get to start investing. All right, thank you. If this video has been of help to you, I kindly ask that you subscribe below and leave me a comment. I will put in some links where you can take the quiz to know what type of an investor you are. And I also urge you, before you start investing, request for that quiz. Okay, understand who you are. Most of the quizzes will even tell you whether you are moderate, whether you are high, or whether you are low risk taker or you are risk averse. All right, those are just different terms that will mean the same thing. If you are risk averse, it just means you're more of a conservative. You know, if you have a high appetite for risk, you're just an aggressive investor. Enjoy investment. This is what you need to understand. Investment does not have to be hard. It does not have to be tough. It does not have to be full of tears. You can actually enjoy your journey even as you invest. Thank you.